Hello everyone, welcome back, and today I'm going to be reviewing the NQ, and I'm going to be talking about day 2 of my journey to profitability, and that's basically that's basically where I'm at with that. Um, just theoretically, but this is the wrong thing. This is the right thing. So as you can see, oh, I have to hide my account balance, but this is all just an idea. It's not, don't really listen to it. But now I'll kind of get a proper introduction out of the way. But today, I'll just start off by saying was a stinker of a day. I just lost. And I'll explain exactly why. I have no grievances about that, and I'll be honest. So the reason that I lost today was because of a very, very, very simple mistake. And that was trading on a bank holiday. So this right here. Now, I did not have any experience prior with bank holidays, so I'm going to give myself some leeway, okay? And looking at it now, it looks pretty good, It doesn't really seem like, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, yeah, we had some chop at times, but it still seemed to be overall moving. It wasn't just going sideways all day. And I got unlucky. My overall bias today was correct, but where I messed up was this right here. Alright, so this is, on this candlestick, its top, its closing price, I entered as soon as we inverse this 1 minute gap. And I thought we would run these highs. Now, I'll explain why it didn't happen, and I'll explain a mistake that I made, and everything like that. This was a losing trade. Nice expansion. If I had a stop order, I would have gone to break even the second I saw this candle, and I would have gone to break even right away, just right below its low, and then would have gotten ticked out on the next trade because we took these internal highs, all these highs except for the one, and if this is a rejection block, because it rises up out of the order block, I was going to see it. Of course, it was a rejection block, and I took a pretty decent L there. But anyways, give me 1 second. Alright, so I had to do something really quick, but I'll kind of explain how both these trades. This trade was like technically like a winner, but it was really just break even. You see the entry there and the exit there. This is all just practice. It's not real money of any kind, so don't take this as investment advice. I'm not an investor, but the thing is, with today, there were a couple things that jump out to me for journaling purposes. And that's going to be the format of my videos pretty much from now on. And to be honest, there were a lot of great trade setups that just I can recognize to help determine my trades, which is why I was able to exit here, and not take all this loss, was why. But I sort of have an agenda for today's video. I know I kind of jumped off topic there, but my agenda is just to talk about the trade, and then my psychology, because I'm pretty invested in that now that I've really began going on my journey to profitability. So I'm just going to talk about the day and the trades that I took or didn't take, and then kind of see what some of the big movers were, and then I'll move on to the psychology. So essentially today at the open we start chopping around. I'm on the 5-minute chart at this time, just flipping between the S&P and the NASDAQ, and S&P starts running highs. But the NASDAQ does not. Right here, bearish SMT for NASDAQ, and then a bullish SMT. This SMT is completed after that. Now, the SMT is a weird tool, because a lot of people think, okay, NASDAQ's bearish, because we saw the bearish SMT first. Then we see a bullish SMT. What? Bullish SMT with the S&P. I'm not going to show you right now, but just believe that that's what this is. And I'm like, what? So I'm starting to confuse myself a little bit. I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Immediately, I think, okay, we're bullish. So whenever we trade back down in here, we'll be bullish. Now, I regret to tell you, I was very wrong, as you can see, but this is bank holiday shit, right? I knew we were going to drop. I knew we were. But the thing is, I knew we were going to be bullish at the end of the day because we're in a bullish fair value gap. We have a bullish fair value gap resting below with all sorts of amazing stuff. This volume imbalance. We have these daily wick gradients. It's just like, wow. I knew we would drop down bearishly. Obviously, I didn't know that we would stop, right here on the quadrant, but this was besides the point, really. I really am a little disappointed, but I figured out how to place stop orders. I figured out how to place take profit orders, so I don't really have very many excuses from now on. And I probably won't trade tomorrow because I'll be busy. I have a lot of schoolwork and stuff to take care of for college. So Wednesdays are pretty much a no-go for me, but Thursdays I'll be back on the charts, and then Fridays I will be on the charts as well. So I have a pretty good schedule. My next semester schedule is not looking too great for that, but we have to see if I get all the classes that I want. But not sure, to be honest with you. Anyways, at the open, we chop around a lot. We go through the quadrant. I mean, this consequent encroachment, drop it a bit lower, half of the fair value gap. So it's like, okay, how do we respect this for longs? Alright, so as you see, we start tapping this, barely piercing through. Longs. I see this candle, oh my gosh, it's a bank holiday, low volatility. So we're not even going to touch any of this stuff down here before we long on the day for the daily range. So we're just going to explode. So I got a little worried that I was going to miss out. I don't know if I would have normally taken this trade, but this is my model. Tap into the PD array properly, upper end of this order block. We essentially inversed the order block, but we have been kind of bullish. Like all this price. Now I know this is bearish. Okay, I know, but what I'm saying is in my opinion, we're bullish right now because we're tapping into all of this stuff and we're respecting. We stayed in the upper half of this for so long, and then we pierced through, and then we pierced through one more time running this. That's essentially a stop run. I was in longs. Now the S&P did take this high. I don't have the SMT there because I was a little distraught after taking a loss. As you can see, it's a pretty significant loss as well. But I wanted to see us run up and take these highs. S&P did, but S&P took with this candlestick. It was just one candlestick, and they took the highs. So that if I had been looking at the S&P, I would have known, like, oh shit, okay, I'm not taking this entry because we already took liquidity for the S&P. And the S&P's not really looking to run bullish right now. But regardless, okay, it's a bank holiday. So I do believe this would normally play out and run that liquidity on a normal day. I truly do. So it's my fault. It's a mistake, but it's one that I'm not going to beat myself up over, and I'm going to move forward. Next, I know to exit because we tap this, and then the body closes below the 1 minute fair value gap, inversion fair value gap. This right here, this candle is so obvious to me. Get out while you still can. You know what I'm saying? If you wick up past consequent encroachment and then your body closes down there, oh, that's some resistance. You're going short. I could have shorted this as well. I thought about shorting this, but I know that Powell's role is not Jerome Powell. I can't remember his first name, but Powell trades. 2 losses. You're done. You de-risk on the second one, so I de-risked. And just try to get it back, try to catch this move. And I was pretty convinced that we were bullish. And then we inversed this gap over this, completely closing out this. I was pretty sure we were bullish because we left this untouched. I thought this was a little fake out to get these people who were long here out of the trade. Exactly what they did to me. Bank holiday, we just slowly fall down. Run up, tap the consequent encroachment after we inverse this, which wasn't very dynamic, hence why we run down, run the stops, bare minimum of this move. And then we just go back up through it. Truly beautiful, beautiful price action, in my opinion, actually. And I'm willing to admit that. I'm willing to admit that this was me. But yeah, that's the trade idea. 1 minute for value gap, SMTs, all over. So I just knew the second I saw that this weakness followed by this strength, stop run, tap into the quadrant level, and then just rise. What's wrong? It's okay. I have a feeling 8 out of 10 times this plays out. This one, however, it is not an 8 out of 10 setup. This is a 7 out of 10 setup, this one right here. Although I may have made $50 on this one, there's a lot of higher time frame gaps. You can find a 3 minute right here that we did not inverse, and we're actually respecting a 3 minute gap right here, and a 1 minute inversion. So you could have, it's pretty obvious you could have sold short there, but hindsight's 20/20, of course. Next, I saw a guy post on Instagram the trade of the day, and I was analyzing it, and I just thought it was really cool. It's right here. All right. This is right. This fair value gap right here. I just want to show this, so people can learn. This is a bullish fair value gap. Okay. We rise up, polishing off this move. Okay. We find where we want to go. It's probably, we're close to London highs right here. Okay, so we disrespect, tap back in, all right, drive lower. So we inverse with these with displacement, tap back in, drive lower, run this low, tap into this fair value gap, and then we're up. So now we have a strong bullish bias. Okay, right here. Okay, run through this fair value gap, close it out, tap into this super small fair value gap, order block, drive up, tap back into it, order block, pyramid right here, up, tap back in to the order block, pyramid, rise it up, London highs. Money trade right here. This was in fact the trade of the day, but it's so close to. Wait, I thought it's bank holiday. We stopped trading at 1. How the fuck did I not realize that? Whatever, I guess. Anyways, that was definitely a great trade. Really just a little unlucky is what I'm gonna say. A little unlucky. But I'm learning, and I'm documenting this to prove to myself that I'm learning and to help myself learn in the future. So now I move on to the psychology aspect. All right. I'm not doing a ton of overview about, like the daily candlesticks. I'm just showing this price action from this perspective. This is a 4-hour fair value gap, bullish fair value gap. This is I believe, it's either a 4-hour order block or a daily order block. Probably a 4-hour, to be honest with you. These are the quadrant levels of the fair value gap. This is the quadrant level of a daily wick. Just little stuff like that. And these are some SMTs. Super simple. I mean, I don't need a lot of lines today. And a lot of stuff left down below that I thought we should have hit, but oh my gosh. Can I move this back up here? Well, now I just lost that indicator as well. I don't know what that is anymore. I truly don't, so I need to get that fixed. But anyways, I'll put that indicator back on in the morning. But sad PA from my point of view. I mean, not sad PA, bad way of just handling myself. But like I said, I'm not beating myself up over. I'm just holding accountability. Now I'll move on to the psychological aspect. I got my first taste of panic today. I truly was shaking. I was shaking. And it was on this right here. This was the moment where I realized I might be messing up. Hold on. I'm getting a call. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. But, anyways, I was genuinely shaking today. And, it was honestly the only time in recent memory that I can say that I've felt fear. And the words that flashed in my head that day were, well, not that day, this morning, were ICT saying, these markers will rip your heart out. And if there's any, I'm gonna put this as a notes in my phone, a timestamp for this exact statement that I'm about to say. But I truly, when I didn't have a stop order, and I saw this candlestick right here, dry below that fair value gap, okay, or this inversion, I thought to myself, close the trade. Pressing close the trade. And I just wanted, I'll wait for this candlestick rebalance to take less of a loss. If I had waited, I would have been down here, and I would have closed on this candle. That is mind-boggling to me. I wanted to convince myself. In that moment, my brain turned into a gambler. And I wanted to convince myself that it was going to go back up. It was going to go back up even for just a short, just to give me break even. And I just kept telling myself that. And I was like, Bryson, what are you doing with your brain? I've always thought I had complete mastery of my brain. And for the first time today, I looked at myself and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to look in the mirror. Here, when I took these highs, right, I wanted to take partials. Now, I didn't know how to take partials. I know now. But I did want to take partials right here and then have my high up here. Just because I'm trading really safe because of... I'm just trading really safe because I'm dealing with a demo funded. You know, I'm nervous. But I want everyone to just realize how difficult this is and how careful you need to be. And don't listen to me, you know, don't, because I don't want any form of accountability about this. I'm only holding myself accountable. I'm doing it for no one else. But today was truly an eye-opening experience, and I will always have a stop order, and I will always have a take profit, because I couldn't imagine getting up here and then being like, okay, I'm just going to ride it up for 8 more ticks. And then all of a sudden, it just wicks through and then drives all the way down. And then hits my stop. You know how that would make me feel? That made me feel like shit. That would change my life. Like, that would be a life-altering experience. So right here, you know, I was so happy when I saw these 2 candlesticks and I saw the profit numbers get up. And I didn't want to close the trade early and profits. That's not an issue that I think I'm going to have. But when it got around to that stop loss, like, I know this idea works. I know I've taken this trade so many times. Like, I know that this is literally bread and butter. I have a video on the channel of me doing something similar to this. Like, without a bias, I can trade this. And I was just like, wow. You know, it's hard for me to admit that I was wrong. And I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad that I didn't blow my account, because I would have closed down here, and that would have been literally $1,000 in the hole. So, and that might actually have ruined me, or at least I'd be sweating it right now. But I'm taking everything one step at a time. My account balance is now down $225 at this practice, which is just theory, but $225. I was able to make some of it back on this, you know, just desperation trade. It's pretty much what I was expecting, though. I mean, you know, I was only expecting to get above this. I should have closed right at the consequent encroachment, but it's alright. That's besides the point. I am a little disappointed in this trade because I think I jumped in a little bit of a hurry. But this is technically my model. It is. It is technically my model. So, and this is highly irregular. This should be up here. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off here and do some more studying. Just a short one today. But if any of you did watch this, if anyone did watch this other than myself in the future, uh, thank you for your time and good luck and good trading.